Alright, welcome back to Star Citizen. So after all the issues with the microphone last time, I kind of got them fixed. I'll be honest, I actually didn't get it to work properly while I was recording the video. So this is actually a narration essentially after the recording was made, and I edited the video down. On the plus side, you kind of get a little extra inner thought for myself there. So first thing I do here, of course, is disable the hints, because that was something I noticed last time when I was trying to take all the pretty shots of the Avenger. I wasn't doing so well on that, so all those hints, those non-stop hints, just kept popping up. In this case, I just turned them off and we should be good to go. So last time, with the Avenger video, I set out with the goal to actually make it to Levski on Delamar and actually get to teach his shop. That guy is clearly doing some sort of shuffle dance. I didn't realize that was something we could do in the game, but apparently that's an emote now. Alright, so basically we're going to go ahead and grab the Mustang from the CitizenCon special edition that they released there. You see our Avenger Stalker was definitely destroyed. If you missed that, watch the end of the last video. Quantum didn't exactly put me in a great position there. This is a different patch than the last video, so it should work out a little bit nicer when we do most of the things. The frame rates are still kind of an issue on this one, and of course there's some bugs there, but at least we have a HUD icon. On the first go, our ship actually appears where it's supposed to be, so that's a plus side. Cool thing about this Mustang version here, so it's the Mustang Alpha, but it has a special CitizenCon 2948 skin from CitizenCon this year in Austin, Texas, just down the road from me basically. I'm not too far from Austin myself. But, much like I was saying, the idea was to go to Levski, go to teach his ship shop, and actually purchase some ships and do some stuff with that. We never really made it. I had a lot of trouble figuring out the route system. I'm sure it was all in those hints that was annoying me. So here's a cool thing. So they've got the cargo bay animations working for the Mustang Alpha. Problem with that is, of course, the cargo itself. You can't actually manually place any cargo in there. I think that's the same with the Aurora right now. So both the starter ships are actually kind of useless when it comes to cargo. It's a bit of a big deal, being that I think most people have the starter ships, so you're not getting a lot of use out of those starter ships other than as really weak combat ships or just basically transporting yourself from here to there. I really like the telescoping ladder getting into the Mustang cockpit here. Overall, pretty great visibility, of course, which is nice. You've got this massive glass here that has all your MFDs. We'll just, instead of going flight ready, power on, then we'll kick over to the engines, kick those on as well. Don't talk over me. As usual, we're gonna wait until the power loads up all the shields, because it is a huge draw on the power to load all the shields up the first time. Once that's done, then we have enough power to get a nice good thrust off the pad here.
Landing gear retracted.
Handling on the ship is actually really good on these. Alright, so even in this video, I had a brief issue with the routing system. However, I actually figured it out much better than I did the last video, so there will be a lot less cuts when it comes to that. I believe in this patch they still kind of have this issue where the center of the ship isn't necessarily the center of the ship on the HUD. So where the circle icon there is in the middle, that's where the center of the ship is actually at. So
Quantum
that's a little
travel
strange.
engaged.
But we'll go ahead and speed up the quantum travel a little bit.
Quantum travel complete.
So another thing I've noticed, and I think they were playing around with this a little bit, is having to make multiple quantum jumps to further distances, especially in smaller ships. I know that just recently they released a new patch, I think it's X, 3.3.0X. X is an X-ray. And that essentially makes it so that you can make jumps even if you don't have the quantum fuel to make the full jump, and you can run out of fuel. So that's pretty cool that they're starting to get that in there as well. So we'll go ahead and, as you can see there, the center isn't quite the center. We'll go ahead and speed up this jump as well, just to get us to Delamont. Alright, here we are.
Quantum travel complete.
So this is where I still had issues kind of figuring out how to then jump to here. I do figure this out later in another video, so don't worry, I'm not completely clueless the whole time, but let's just go ahead and skip ahead a little further. Basically, I just flew straight down to the planet without quantum jumping closer to Levski, but I kind of at least had the direction I needed to go. So there's that, and I'm still trying to make sure, okay, am I actually going the right way? Am I going in the right direction within this point of the video? So you'll see me pop open the map still and just make sure, okay, Levski's there. Where am I? You know, this is a great time for a public service announcement. Don't text and drive. This is very similar to texting and driving. And sometimes bad things happen, really bad things in some cases, as you're about to see.
Proximity alert. Run.
Came out of nowhere. It took me a little while to get control of the ship again, especially with the damaged wing. I didn't lose the wing, luckily. But I did have a little issue. It took me a little while kind of getting things going. I'm sure if I took off some of the coupled mode and some of that, it would have helped, but fast forward. Alright, so I just got control of the ship back. Hoping I'm going back in the right direction. I don't even think I've checked. But I do feel like I recognize this area a bit, so that helps. And of course now I can also see in the distance there we have the towers of Levski that are around Levski there. I think at some point in the future I'm gonna actually do a more robust tour of Levski and the surrounding area, along with some of the other locations that they have in the game. The reason I'm not going to do it right now is because every time you get towards Levski or in the area of Levski, your frame rates basically tank. I think a lot of it's because of the NPCs. I do know I was just playing the game last night, and the latest patch, again, X-Ray, that one actually was extremely smooth. It's the best the game has ever played for me completely. So I'm playing around with the MFDs here, trying to find the comms. Apparently in the Mustang, the top two MFDs do not allow for comms. I think it's because of the distance they have with the angles there. You couldn't quite fit that comm icon in there in the menu. So we'll go ahead and set this one back to power. So as you can tell, I clicked the icon to communicate with Levski's landing dude.
Landing
I can't
gear
remember his name right
engaged.
now, I will look that up. And there's no sound coming from them whatsoever. I get no communication from them. You can see from all the icons on the HUD there, everybody and their sister is at Levski. Some guy flying around with his headlights down there. Good stuff. So we keep trying to get a hold of Levski's air traffic control. Yeah, don't get a whole lot of success. So we'll just fly a little closer and see if maybe they're just taking their time. Normally, even if I don't get an actual response from them audibly, I can still see, you know, a hangar will open up and I'll actually get the idea that I can land, you know, or which spot I'm supposed to land in. Sometimes it's just delayed, so that's kind of what I'm doing now, is I'm just trying to figure that out. Yeah, maybe it's a delay, you know, frames are obviously dropped. There's a lot of flares here, all that stuff, so. Kind of come over here, spin myself around to get a better view. Also, of course, be closer to the landing pads if or when one does open up. Maybe even get a closer peek at the crazy amount of people just chilling right outside the doors of Levski's lobby area. A bunch of other Mustangs. That's great. Try one more time through the MFD. Cool thing about this game as well is that you can also access your comms from your mobiGlass, which is like your personal, it's basically like your cell phone. It's the cell phone of the future. And you can see even in the contacts here, we still have the landing control. And nope. You can do video chats with people now, which is really cool. They have face over IP. You can see some people in the chat are talking about VoIP and FOIP. The cool thing about that is you can actually get that to work through a video chat. So yeah, Levski's air traffic control not working, so you know what, let's do like everybody else has kind of done and just find a landing spot outside of Levski's doors here, and we'll just walk in from the surface. That looks like a pretty decent spot over here. As I mentioned, as long as frames...
Deck. Proximity alert. Left.
Alright, weird landing.
Landing complete.
As long as the frame rates are
Weapon systems disabled.
pretty decent around Levski, I will actually go through and give a full tour. Post that up at some point. So I've mentioned in previous videos, I am playing exclusively with keyboard and mouse, which I kind of hate, as far as flying anyways. Of course, first person mode like this and, you know, the shooter aspect, if you will, definitely keyboard and mouse is great. So with that being said, today, what is today, November 1st, I'm actually going to be hooking my HOTAS back up. and my rudder pedals and going back to flying with the stick and throttle. I just have way more control. It's way more intuitive for me. So that's going to be in the future. The next few videos are still technically recorded, I think on this same day, if not this day and the next day that I recorded them. So you're not going to see any vast improvements in my flying through those videos, but I'll make sure to shout out at the beginning of the video that I'm back on the HOTAS, back on the stick, and hopefully you'll actually see a drastic difference there in my flying skills. Everybody's got their CitizenCon Mustang Alphas down here on the surface, a couple ground vehicles that can't seem to make it out because everybody's parked their starships right in the way. And you can see just the closer I get in here, just the worse the frames get. There's somebody blown up out there all over the place. Not sure what's going on with that, but is what it is. Through the airlock we go. This is Levski's kind of main lobby on the surface here. Head down to the next floor, which is customs and habitation zones. It's also where we can hitch a ride on an elevator, I believe, up to Teach's ship shop. We're going down now, deeper into the surface. Got a couple extra people here riding the elevator with me. Doing a little jig, you know, as you do in an elevator with complete strangers. Synchronized jig. Nobody's actually saying anything that I can see, but it is what it is. Terrible frame rates, also probably due to the amount of players in the area. I can't wait for them to have that smoothed out. In fact, I may have experienced that last night when I was playing, and I wasn't recording that. I should have been. But it's on the same patch today, so when I do finally get those recordings up, you'll see that as well. Long elevator ride on this one. It's longer than the one from the surface down, so maybe it's maybe you're actually going further down. Not sure the exact layout. That's something I'd like to figure out at some point, though. Especially because you'll see, if I look at the ceiling up here in Teach's ship shop, there's a giant hangar door. So kind of figuring out where that's at on the surface might really go a long way on figuring out where this is located in regards to everything else. And they may not actually have it physicalized that way, which would be unfortunate, but we'll see. Something they'll fix later on, I'm sure. So somebody left the headlights on this Drake Cutlass Black back there. You can see there's the multiple variants of the Aurora that you can purchase. The Prospector, which we'll be picking up here, that's kind of the main reason we came down. Further to the left, there's also a Hornet that you can buy. I think it's the Hornet. Yeah, it's the Hornet. Cool thing about this is not only can you walk up and actually, purchase and get information on them, and they should have terminals, I believe, in the future, but you can actually go through and everything's essentially functional. You can't turn on the engines and fly away, but you can turn the power on and kind of play around with things. So in this case, we can open the rear cargo door, you can open and close the side doors. I'm sure you can get up in the turret behind us. But we're basically jumping in here. We already have a Cutlass Black ourselves, so we have no use of that. Pretty sure I remember that the lights toggle is the number 3 on the keyboard, but just coming in here to double check and make sure.
Hello
I
and
realize
welcome
I'm already
aboard
on
your
the
Drake
flight,
interplanetary
so
craft.
yeah, 3.
Your systems are online.
All of our landing areas are currently full. Please hold for assignment.
Aha, finally you speak to me. It's a little late though, I've already landed outside. So yeah, I just came in here, turned the headlights off just because the headlights on the ships now are extremely bright, which is fantastic. I love it. But it's definitely kind of washing out just the way it looks down here, and I wanted to get a more, well, a more normal, realistic look at how it is down here. In this kind of this cave that they've dug out in this giant asteroid that we're on. This planetary body. Planetoid, I guess they're called. So here's the Mist Prospector. Go to buy it, pops up this description for us. For years, the Prospector has been the universe's preferred mining vessel for solo operators, featuring Mist's sleek design sensibility and a bevy of upgraded high-tech mining tools. The 2947 Prospector perfectly balances form and functionality. So we went in and purchased it. It is the most expensive ship there at 1.62 million Alpha UEC. I think the Hornet's the next most expensive over there. You can see it in the background. They also do have these the Dragonflies, the Drake Dragonflies. You can get a couple different variants. They kind of have a Cyclone. I say kind of because it's here, but it's not purchasable. Not sure what that's about. If it's a bug that they just haven't fixed in all these patches that they've put out since showing this up, but you know, whatever. We'll figure it out. The other thing I did come down here for was the Drake Buccaneer, as you'll see in a moment. That's because I've kind of always wanted to try out the Buccaneer. I didn't purchase one myself, but it did seem kind of like a fun ship to get. This one's 1.12 million, as you can see. The description here, just simply Drake Buccaneer, is what it is. So we'll buy one of those as well. Now we're not actually going to fly these on this video just because we are approaching closer to the 30-minute mark than I want to keep these videos at. So instead we're going to end up working our way down to the Grand Barter, I think it's called, the shopping area. I'm going to end up purchasing some armor and whatnot. I think we'll end up doing that next video as well though. I'll just kind of want to take this time here as we're heading back to the customs habitation area, and then of course down the elevator to the shopping area. So I'm going to be doing my videos a little differently. I would say different than I've done historically, but there's not a lot of history to build on, so this is more of kind of a jumping off point here. I think I've gotten a good grasp of what I need to do for recording, editing. In this case, even if I want to go through and narrate after the fact, I can go ahead and do that as well. Figured out how to make that all work, so that's great. So what I'll be doing is uploading videos in a more regular basis. So I'll probably end up recording a good amount of content. This is of course going to be even better once 3.3.5 drops, especially to a live build. I believe they're going to keep, it seems anyways, they might keep 3.3.0 in PTU until 3.3.5 is ready for PTU for that test universe. And then depending on how long that takes, 3.3.5 might not go live until 3.4 is ready for PTU. Hopefully it doesn't happen that way, but we are getting closer to the end of the year, and that's when they'll drop 3.4. But as long as you know, the content's somewhat stable, I'll definitely be able to keep recording videos and uploading them. I do plan on live streaming at some point as well, so those will end up on here. I'm going to do a couple different videos other than just kind of some little Let's Plays like we're doing here. Also, you'll see, you know, the frame rates really drop down here, I think again because of the NPCs, but That does get better in the later videos because the patches get better, especially the latest ones. So we'll go ahead and end the video here. If you liked the video, please like the video. If you have any comments, any helpful tips, anything that you want to say to me whatsoever, please leave a comment. And of course, remember to subscribe, and you can hit the notify bell if you want to see all the new content that I'm going to be coming out with. As I mentioned, it's going to be a lot more regular. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.